Pro stock cars on the NHRA Winston Trail are spectacularly created machines. They're immaculate. They got those big engines inside and the hood scoops and all spit and polish outside. Great looking automobiles, fun to look at, great to race. And there's not a better class of competition in all of motorsports. We had 16 cars qualifying within about a tenth of a second, and that was one of the bigger spreads that we've had. There you go. It's the Gainesville, Florida, home of those Florida Gators. And they're all over the place, believe me. Look, there's one right over there. Take a look at the semifinal action in Pro Stock competition. Find out if it's going to be Dad and the old man going into the finals, the Pro Stock Final Four. There's the AC Delco machine. That's Kurt Johnson as he turns the tires and tries to heat them up. On the far side, put a little rubber down on the racetrack and see if he can get enough grip to take out that Mike Edwards. Now, Edwards has been dynamite off the starting line. He won the Slick 50 Driver of the Year award as they back up to the starting line. I said they back up to the starting line. Well, he backs up to the starting line. Look at this. KJ out of the car, dead in the water. And the AC Delco car will go no further, and it certainly won't be KJ and WJ in the finals. Then it would be Mike Edwards in a single going into the championship round, his first for 1997. Great move off the starting line, but you heard the guy say it's getting a little greasy. He did one of these jobs right out there. Did you see that? Got a little shaky, and he winds up shutting it down. Only in the 8-second range, probably won't get lane choice, and KJ was not happy.
Kurt Johnson, an uncharacteristic problem out of this AC Delco team. Do you have any idea what broke out there?
I don't know. You know, there's oil out on the racetrack out there, KC. The thing started to flutter real bad. I thought I broke a valve spring and dropped the valve, but what I got here in my hand is a chunk of piston. So when a pro stock motor starts putting parts like this out on the racetrack, you know it's bad. The AC Delco car was flying all weekend. We ran 690s, qualified number 2 at 694, and this is, like you say, real uncharacteristic.
I'm not one of the most mechanically inclined guys in the world, but I'm pretty sure having part of a piston in your hand is not good. All right, it's going to be the McDonald's machine here at the Mac Tools Gatornationals, carrying that big number 1 on the side. This is as good a matchup as there is in all of motorsports. Any of the big rivalries you have. Warren Johnson, the GM Performance Parts machine. Yates took him out of the finals at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. WJ gets this car off the starting line. It could be a fun run. Whoa, Yates, big move off the starting line. Here comes Warren. Can he run 200? No. And he would have had to get him. Yates 699 beats Warren's much quicker 695. Remember that stuff at the beginning? The 2 inches on those 15-foot pro stockers? Look at that. Great win for Jim Yates. Steve?
Well, with all the chaos in his life, Jim Yates is still driving like the pro stock champion that he is. You know, and Jim, if you look at Mike Edwards' performances today, he appears to be a sitting duck.
Well, you know, you can't never take Mike Edwards for granted. He took me out several times last year in key races, so we're racing him just like he was Warren Johnson sitting over there. He's a tough competitor. He's given us a handful all last year, so we're going to try and hold one on this year.
And he'll try to run 200 miles an hour. Casey Spurlock?
Mike Edwards, you've had great qualifying runs in your career. You've had great races in your career, but this may be the weekend that it's better to be lucky than good.
That's right, Casey. Today's been an incredible day. I tell you what, it seems like every time I pull up there, the other guys either red lighting or braking, and you know, some days you just that luck goes your way, and you know, I just thank the good Lord for this day, and try to make it one more round for this Pontiac in the final.
Mike Edwards, who won a Winston championship in his sportsman category back in 1981. How about that? Edwards leads the series. Can you believe that? 4-1. There aren't too many guys that can say that they've beaten Jim Yates 80% of the time. We've got more live Mac Tools Gatornationals coming up from the home of those national champion Gators. Go Gators. Where's all the fans? Oh, they're at the race. TNN's exclusive live coverage of the Mac Tools Gatornationals is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation Parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. We're going to take a look at some funny car activities. We're down to the semifinals, the final 4 in that category. Let's take a look at some of the past great moments in funny car racing here. The floppers offer such a flair for the dramatic. The time, 6 years ago, with Tom Hoover against John Force in the semi. And as the champ went up in smoke, Hoover topped that effort with a blower boomer that took apart the Showtime body and handed Force the final round berth. Body damage is extreme, but nothing compared to what happened at the conclusion of the next pair. Mark Oswald defeated Mike Dunn. Oswald won. There have been some great years of funny car racing right here, including that Oswald-Dunn matchup. Oswald blew up back here in 1991. But of course, the Sunshine State surgery by drag racing's doctors. Hey, everybody kind of gets together, and all the King's men and all the King's horses could put him back together again. They pop riveted and racer taped that baby together. And how about that? 90 minutes later, they come out and get the win. Some fun, this funny car racing activity. Let's take a look at the semifinals here. This is back to live action. Actually, it's back to 1997 action in semifinals. In the final four, there's the Matco Tools folks. Hey, you don't think they'd like to take the Mac Tools money here at the Gatornationals? Dean Scusa lost here a couple of years ago in the finals against John Force. Force is already gone. It's Al Hoffman, another Florida native here on the near side of the racetrack. Matco Tools and Scusa have been running 5-0s. Ronnie Swearings has been making some magic. I'm not sure a 5-0 would be good enough here in the semifinals to get by Al Hoffman, who's been putting that baby down in the 490s. Driving away at the top end, again a 497, 309 miles an hour. That last number reaction time really doesn't make a whole lot of never mind when you're running 4.9s. The Matco Tools car gave it a great shot, but he skied to a 5.10, and that's not good enough when Al's doing that to you at the top end. It would be Mark Oswald of the In-N-Out Burger machine rolling up to the starting line. The guy that won in the dragster category in '82, won his first funny car matchup back in 1983.
Gary Dencham, you had a great weekend going. Unfortunately, it came to a quick end in the semifinals.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, Casey. I mean, the thing sounded great. The motor sounded terrific. We changed motors before this round because we, started to get number 5 main bearing a little bit. We probably could have run it. Something in the clutch gave up, like the throwout bearing disintegrated or backing up. I don't know what it is. Do we, take it apart when we get back to pits?
Well, that's why we only see one car in the racetrack. Tough break for the NEC guys, and they got to call AAA from Southern California now because Mark Oswald strolls into the finals with a 5.09. Steve?
They are just buttoning up Mark Oswald's In-N-Out Burger car. And Mark, after all the In-N-Out burgers my family has consumed over the years, I feel like a stockholder. As a stockholder, I demand you put this car in the 4s.
Well, we demand that too, Steve, and I'm sure a lot of people on the West Coast do. And after the horrendous start we got this year, we're just really thankful that In-N-Out stood by us and try to capitalize for them and do some good here today.
Well, I got a feeling you're going to need a 4 to race the guy with Casey Spurlock.
Al Hoffman, the great state of Florida, is certainly smiling on their home state boy. Jimbo Ermilovich has got the clutch problems cured, and this is the most consistent car in funny car today.
Yeah, we're pretty happy. We're gaining some points on Force, and we're doing it with one trailer and one crew chief, and we got one thing Force don't, that's a Jimbo.
Hey, what's a Jimbo? It's an Ermilovich, of course, the crew chief. How do you spell that? Jimbo. You're on your own for the other part. There's a head-to-head matchup as they get set for the finals. Al Hoffman, I'll tell you, this car is running extremely well. Oh, look, it's a Gator. It's a real live Gator. Is it live? Hello? Hello? Welcome back, everybody. Bob Fry along with Casey Spurlock and Steve Evans here on TNN, the Nitro Network. The Gatornationals, John Force, our #1 network. Well, sorry, folks. TNN is, but John's not, at least not today. Let's go to the semis and top fuel activity. It's Team Winston. They have not lost in 10 rounds this year. Mopar, Mike Dunn, Darrell Gwynn, and the Florida faithful flying in the near lane. Oh, baby! Mike Dunn punches out Team Winston, 470 at 308 miles an hour, and you're riding on top of the one car that we know is going into the finals, and he did it on a whole shot. 470 beats Celsi's 468. Look at this at the top end, how close. Those guys think they're pro stockers. Wow. Hello there. I'm pretty sure he's waving to me. Oh, I thought it was me. This will be the other semifinals. We get set to go. Joe Amato and Scott Coletta. Between them, they have won 7, count them, 7 NHRA Winston Drag Racing Championships. Joe Amato's done everything but win so far this year. We saw him in the finals live right here on TNN, the Nitro Network. That's what the sign said. Out in Pomona earlier this year. And Scott, of course, we saw him flip over right here live on TNN, the Nitro Network, in the Smack Tools Gatornationals last year. Winner gets done in the finals. This is great drag racing. Joe Amato, 466, 311, a 498 reaction time, but it's academic when you're rolling those kind of numbers on the big end of the quarter mile. Scott and Joe, you can throw a blanket over the two of them at half track. It's about a car length at the top end of the quarter mile. Steve?
I got to tell you, the nitro fumes are thick down here. Joe has one of these. I didn't. But, Joe, you saw what Mike Dunn did to Gary Selze. He's going to try to cut you up at the knees, buddy.
Yeah, Mike Dunn isn't driving good, Steve. But more importantly, we had the car all ready to start, and they found something wrong with the valve train. They had to go back and change the motor. So that makes Joe Amato and the whole team nervous. But I got a good team over there. And they put the motor in, and we just got it warmed up, so now we're going to hustle to get it up in the lanes. But you know, we're just going to run our own race and go up there and try and do it. I know Mike Dunn's probably looking to hole shot me, but we're just going to do our race and hope for the best man wins. And maybe God will be looking over our shoulder, and it's our turn.
This car, a bit of a question mark. What about his opponent, Casey Spurlock?
Darrell Gwynn, Al Hoffman, Florida team. Darrell Gwynn, Mike Dunn, Florida team. Performance has been great, but is there a lot of heart coming from the fans from here in Florida that's really making this team excel?
Well, you know, we've tried to show our true colors all year long. We had some parts failure in Pomona, but Team Mopar and Mike Dunn in particular are doing a heck of a job today, and we're going to try and win it for the fans.
Great. Let's go back to Bob in the booth.
Oh, man. He is just a great person. Darrell Gwynn and Mike Dunn will take on Joe Amato. 3-1 in the series, but you know what that means? Nothing. When they go to the finals here live on CNN. All of our finals, hey, we're going to see the Pro Stock Scooters coming up. They'll be our first finalists live right here from the Mack Tools Gatornationals.